Hey you, I know what you're looking for. You're looking for some Fortnite secret tips and tricks. Don't worry, I'll never make an intro like that ever again. But I did want to make a quick video going over 5 lucky little tips I wish I knew when I started Fortnite. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Number 1, being not the most important, and this is in no consecutive order, but I do just want to throw this out here first. Be aware of the trail you leave behind. What I mean by that is when you loot or when you enter places and open doors and check out things and knock out debris and trees and all that stuff, the only real trail you kind of want to leave behind if you think someone is going to be following you is a trap. You don't want to leave an open chest. What I do is I beat them up, I get the wood from them, and ultimately get everything out of the way so it looks like you aren't there. Now, obviously, you can destroy enough stuff to the point where it is obvious somebody was there because someone knows there's usually stuff there, like trees or shrubs or vegetation, whatever it may be. You just want to make sure that you don't have someone hot on your trail, because unlike PUBG, you can't look directly behind you, you know what I mean? You can only look in front of you, you have to turn and swivel, which is something you should be doing anyway, regardless, and something we'll get into in the future, but you want to not leave some crazy trail behind you, or if you're aware that you at least have a trail behind you, you know to look behind you to make sure someone isn't trailing you and going to hit you in your 6, and then the game's over because all the lovely work you just did is gone because they shot you in the back of the head and killed you with a shot. Not the best way to go out. Numero dos. Use explosives. I know this is weird because, well, it's weird to me because I try to get an explosive in every game, but don't underrate them. Mostly everyone builds in this game for success. Explosives change that up. Remember in a previous video I was explaining this whole panic theory? Rockets, grenades, egg launchers, grenade launchers all cause panic. Panic makes bad decisions. Aside from them being strategically placed, they're going to start doing things irrationally. Get them to jump around or build in weird ways, or else just not build at all and try to shoot you, maybe pull the wrong thing, accidentally hit a chug jug while they're trying to fight you instead of shooting you. It puts you in a much more easier situation. Next, number 3. I hate being in the storm as much as any other guy, but a few points of health lost in the storm sounds a whole lot better to me than rushing into a fight with 3 more health than if I would have strategically just grabbed high ground at a better vantage point. Ultimately, don't be afraid of the storm, but try your best not to get stuck or lost in it. It does do more damage as time ticks down to the end. Obviously, it'll go from 1 point. Once it starts to, I think in the second circle, it'll start to hit you from 1 to 2 points, and then it goes from 2 to 5, and I believe it gets a little more aggressive once it gets into the narrower cases. Just keep that in mind. Sometimes people like to lurk in the storm if they have extra medical equipment. Obviously, if you have a few med kits, it's not going to hurt because you can just crank it out in the storm, and then you just heal yourself up, and you might be behind somebody, get a quick kill. Next, collecting mats fast. What I mean by mats is materials. It's basically your resources, your wood, your brick, your metal. There's a reason the big dogs never really run out of materials, because of certain techniques used and not used. Smacking all wooden objects in houses while looting them, like cabinets, desks, chairs, shelves, beds. You crush them quickly and then they give you a few wood just to get you started in the game once you land somewhere initially. Not only that, after you break down all of your wood and materials, quickly switch back to your weapon immediately. It'll take a few games to get real good at this, but you'll understand what I mean once you hit the sweet spot. Immediately switch back to your weapon after hacking away with your axe. Maybe do it while you jump in the air, and you don't get that weird, awkward, trotty motion that you normally get. Say if you just swing your axe. It's a quick, I'd say millisecond or split second, half second advantage, but it's just better to do this because you go straight back to your non-interruptive day, the Fortnite thing, whatever. You can use this technique on anything. Just don't do house walls or pre-built structures. They don't get much material, or any at all. The materials you build, you knock them down, you don't get anything. Your time's better spent elsewhere. Next, your shield. Drink that stuff up. Get your shield on, and it will give you the advantage over players. What I mean by this is if you have a gray AR or a gray pistol or shotgun, only a couple shots of those in place in the correct spot in the head are going to put you out. And towards the end of the game, it's a make or break decision, just depending on who gets the victory or not. Sometimes depending on who has the most shield. I've been in some games where it comes out to a straight up shootout, and I had full shield and they didn't, and that's why I won. We were both hitting each other in the head. That's all it was. We were just straight on shooting. The shields make a massive difference, and I'm probably going to make this the most lengthy one of them all just because I find it most important. Your health and your shield, it makes so much sense to have all of that, because if you get shot at in the back, that stuff adds up, and you're trying to think, what am I going to drop? Well, I would probably drop a sniper for shields, because you definitely need your shield. Your sniper, it's kind of a toss-up. You might not need it. You might have a sniper battle. You might not. It depends on how you play. So also factor that in, how you play. If you're a super aggressive player and you're always sniping people like crazy, yeah, maybe you drop something else. I would always keep your shotgun. Always keep some type of mid-range to long-range, like AR long-range weapon. I would probably drop a sniper, or I'm probably not going to drop rockets, but in some instances, maybe. The rockets are really a hack, and it's just good to have. But if you have like a minigun or some type of pistol, machine gun, I'm dropping that for shield all day long. Which leads to you asking, hey Matt, 10 small or 2 big shields? Well, again, it narrows down back to how you play. Ultimately, if you're a much more aggressive player, you're going to be getting a lot of kills and you're going to get into a lot of fights, I would say the 10 small, because you can incrementally add them in and split things up. But if you're a little more strategic, calculated, and you're stealthy and you sneak around, 2 big shields probably, because chances are you're going to see people first if things are going out in the way you want it to. That's just how that rolls. Ultimately, I would probably stick with the 10 small, because if you use those 2 shields and you get in 2 fights and someone just blindsides you, well, now you have nothing. Maybe the people you kill probably have small shields. Usually at the end of the game, people have a lot of shield too, so I wouldn't get too crazy over this. I'm just pointing out the facts. Like I said, I'm probably going to be holding 10 small, because if I kill someone, maybe they're holding a big shield I can top off, or a slurp juice, or a chug jug. There are a lot of options in this game now. Just have fun with it. Lastly, something else I just kind of want to throw in. I think that was 5, but I'm going to give you another one just because I seem to always do that to y'all. Hooking you up. Hooking you up. Wood, brick, or metal? This is a question I was actually asked on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram if you have not, at SuperCarsPHL. Wood, brick, or metal? Well, the game's quick moving. It's a very mobile game. Wood is quick to build, so I would say wood over everything is most important. Towards the end of the game, I started to use a little bit more brick. Metal is good if you're in squads and you're building a huge base and you're all like right there and it's towards the end of the game. But ultimately, I really don't use metal until I'm actually trying to hide myself. Like, say if I'm at the end of the game and there's 4 people and people are building all types of crazy frantic walls and it's got that weird like mansion-y, one by one room effect where there's just a ton of rooms. It's kind of hard to explain what I'm talking about, but I find myself in a situation all the time where people just start building around me towards the end of the game because they run. That would be where metal would come into play, because they're going to start shooting stuff, and once they start shooting stuff, it's a small area, you can kind of find them before they actually knock down even one platform or one wall. That's metal. But ultimately, to answer that question, I would say wood, brick comes next, and then metal. Only because the game's so mobile. Metal is the strongest. Brick is second strongest, but takes a little bit longer to build than wood. Wood is kind of weak, but you can replace it quickly. That's the cool thing about it. Metal takes forever to fully build and get full HP. Wood just builds the fastest, and it's most convenient, and that's why I like using it. Just feel it out. It depends on the circumstance that you're in. And I hate to break it to y'all, but that is the end of the video. That is all of the tips that I have for you today. If you liked it, if you think this is going to give you some extra oomph in your games, give that thumbs up at Chiboha, a little like. Well, click the thumbs up. That's what I'm trying to say. And subscribe down below, the red rectangular subscribe button. And I will catch you later. Enjoy these clips. I know these clips are unrelated, but it's just us Conan people. Me and my team, me and my squad. You can hit up the stream and interact with us when we do this on the YouTubes and the Twitches. Sometimes Mixer. I'm all over the place. I'll catch you later. Have a great day and enjoy your gameplay, my friends. I love you.